Hey, y'all, it's Thursday. It's another episode of the Late Night Vision Show, a special episode, something that comes around once a year to help me introduce what we're doing this week, something that y'all all know and hopefully all love. Jason Robertson, the owner of Outdoor Legacy. Why is this such a special occasion? What are we talking about?
I thought you were saying that you hoped that they all loved me, but
We
I
already
think you
know
were
that.
talking about the show.
We already
Okay,
know
all
that,
right.
yeah.
I just wasn't sure where this was going. I was pretty
Yeah.
excited there. Then I realized you weren't talking about me. So, yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Last week was Thanksgiving. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We are back in the saddle, ready to roll. This is our best of show. If you are a frequent flyer of the show and you're, watch every week, you are tired of hearing us talk about the best of. It's coming. But it has been. We've been talking about it. We're excited. We really enjoy doing these shows. They're a lot of fun. We know they're fan favorites. We've got a lot of good feedback over the years. We've been doing these several years. I haven't even looked back to see how many years now, but we enjoy this time of year and doing these. So here's what it is. It's a simple format. We get to make the rules, whatever the rules are. So that's what, if you've ever watched an award show and you're like, why do they do that? Or why do they pick that? Or what? Well, guess what? We did the same thing, but we said we're going to make our own picks. You may not like our picks and do your own award show. Then you can pick your favorites. That's what we're doing. So no, seriously, this is the way it's going to roll out. We've got a group of scopes. Today, it's going to be what we're calling entry level. Now, I'm going to speak to that in just a minute, a little more of what that means. But we will list all the scopes, and then Hans will give his favorite pick out of this. I will give my favorite pick. We'll probably throw in a couple honorable mentions. There's a possibility we could pick the same scope. There's a possibility we could pick the same honorable mention. There's no rules. We do not have to pick different scopes. We just like to each give ourselves, because sometimes we don't agree. He's got something he likes a little more than me. Sometimes I've got something. So we like to give ourselves the opportunity to pick our true favorite. I'm going to take this one step further, and I'm going to say that we're not picking necessarily the best selling scope out of the group. There may be a scope that we recommend over and over and over to our customers that we don't pick as our favorite. And you go, what kind of deal is that? Mm-hmm. Well, there may be something specific that we like about the scope that works really well for us that doesn't work for somebody we're talking to on the phone, or maybe for a lot of people, or, there's different reasons that we recommend scopes for different people. And so just because we recommend, because we pick a scope on here and you say, well, I called y'all and y'all didn't recommend that scope to me. That's not because we don't, any reason. It's we talked to you, we heard what you were doing, and we recommended what we thought was best for your specific situation. And as you know, if you've listened to this show, we believe that thermal scopes, night vision scopes, are tools, and each one of these fits a specific job or a specific type of hunting and condition and terrain and weather and shooting distances and all those things. And we weigh all that into it when we make our recommendations. So I'm rambling, but I'm going to say a couple more quick things. One, guys, if you're looking for any night vision or thermal scope, handheld binocular, whatever it may be, we would love to have your business at Outdoor Legacy. This is what Hans and I do full time for a living. OutdoorLegacyGear.com. Phone number is 877-350-1818. Feel free to call us if it's something on this list. If it's something in one of the other categories, we will be very, very glad to talk to you. Answer your questions, help recommend the scope that we believe is going to fit whatever it is you're doing, and then we'd love to have your business. All right. So now, Hans, I know I'm running away with the show here and what I normally do, rambling, but give me a minute and I'm going to explain to these people this category, and then I'm going to let you take over. So we're going to call this entry level, and this burns. I don't like calling this entry level, but it is entry level, and it's also it's what a lot of guys, that's the term they're looking for. They say, man, I want an entry level. They don't know necessarily a price. They, I want to be in the, $2,000 or $2,500. They have a budget in mind, and it's normally under $3,000. So we're calling anything that is $3,000 and under, we're calling that entry level. And so I think that the burn is that there is a lot of scopes in this category that are not entry level scopes. I mean, they are, but entry level just gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
And what we're calling entry level today, some of these scopes would have been $4,000 or $5,000, 4 or 5 years ago. So it's again, that's what technology does. Trickles down from the top as the better stuff comes out. It just keeps pushing down, and that's why I was able to buy a flat screen TV, 65 inches for $288 over the Black Friday deal. So yeah, that's what happens. It's just the prices keep coming down. So one thing I'm going to mention before I let Hans take it over, and that is there's going to be a question. I know somebody's going to say, wait a minute, guys, you didn't mention any of the 256 resolution scopes. Why is that? I mean, these are less than $2,000. Some of them are $1,000 or less. Why would you not mention those? My reasoning for that is we don't believe that those scopes are at this point, that the 256 resolution, and we have tested them, we have used them, we don't believe that they offer enough in the way of what the average hog or coyote hunter needs to be effective, to be safe. We think there's a very, very, very small percentage of the population that they fit. We personally believe that a digital night vision scope that is maybe even less expensive than that, but in that $500 to $1,000, $1,200 range, we think that is a better purchase than one of these 256 extremely low resolution optics. Again, you may disagree, and that's fine. It has nothing to do with money, because we would talk you out of $1,000 256 thermal into a $500 digital night vision scope. It's our opinion. It's not about money. This is the way we are. So, Hans, all right, take it over.
Yeah, I feel like we should be wearing tuxedos or something. And I looked in my closet.
I think with tuxedos, I'm going to have to get my wife to make us those little envelopes that we can open up, break the seal on.
I'll have my wife make us some tuxedo T-shirts, and next year we'll be ready to go. So I looked in my closet, and all I could really find was a long sleeve camouflage shirt. This is probably one of the nicer camouflage shirts that I have. So I wore it for the special occasion. Never before seen on the show.
You did.
So you're welcome out there. So let's talk about a couple of things before we run through the list. Jason is going to start out. This list is so long of contenders in the entry level under $3,000 price range. So we have to split it up in half so we can have a chance to get a drink of water. Let's talk about a couple things. The first thing is, now, for the first time ever, y'all, we have a 640 resolution scope. It just seems weird to say. We have a 640 resolution scope in the competition for best entry level thermal scope. Just let that sit in for a second. We're talking about entry level in the past. This is really where thermal begins, usable, huntable thermal, and now we've got a 640 resolution high resolution optic in the best of contenders. So that is just crazy to think about. It makes you wonder what next year is going to look like and how we're going to be able to kind of separate this out and being able, we might have to have a 384 category and a 640 category. I don't know. Yeah. But so we've got that first 640, and then we've got a couple scopes that were very popular in the under $4,000 category. That is the iRay Bolt TL35, infrared outdoor Bolt TL35, and you got the Pulsar Thermion 2 XQ35 Pro. Those started out in the under $4,000 price range, and now both of them are in that under $3,000 price range. So you have movement in the market. You have some prices that have been adjusted down. And I always tell people, they're like, well, why is it discounted? Why is it on sale? Why is it so much less expensive than it was before? This is not a reflection of the quality of the product. This is a readjustment of market strategy based on what other thermal scope companies are doing, and these companies trying to be competitive within each other or against each other. And it's good for us because these are you're going to find these are very good quality scopes that now that were amongst the best in the under $4,000 category that are now in the under $3,000 category. So with those two things being said, with the the movement being down, Jason, let's go ahead and start out. Let you start out with the first half of this list. I'll round it out, and then so stay tuned. We're going to be picking our favorites. We're going to be showing graphics for all of these. So if you're listening on the audio only version, go on over to the YouTube if you want to see what these scopes look like. We'll show a quick graphic, and we're going to show a little bit of video when we talk about our favorites. Don't hold me to how much we're going to show. It depends. I have to go way deep into archives for some of this stuff. But yeah,
when Hans just said he was going to show a picture of all these, I just nearly choked over here. Oh my gosh! I'm glad he's the executive producer. I would not promise that. So
trying to make every year a little bit better.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's promising a lot. So
yeah.
I'm going to say this before I start reading this. There is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on this list. We don't think we left anything off. One thing I didn't speak to, I'm going to do real quick, talk about these brands. And here's why. There may be a brand that you own a scope that you really like and it's not in this list, or maybe you've heard about it, your buddy's got one, you're looking at it, you go, it's not on the list. These are the brands that we personally test, use, recommend, and sell. There are other brands that we have tested, that we have used, that we don't sell and we don't recommend. And so don't think that if it's not on here, it's just because we don't care, because we haven't considered it, that we haven't talked to the manufacturer, that we haven't looked at that brand, whatever. These are the brands, and I'll just give you those brands. Hope I don't leave anything off here. I think I got them over here. These are all the brands that we're going to recommend in any of these shows, and it is not on this list. It is, I'm going to try this, AGM, Bearing Optics, Infraray Outdoor, Pulsar, Sightmark, and Envision Optics. Did I leave anybody out?
Nope, you did not.
Okay, good. All right, good. So those are the brands, and I'm going to tell you this before I start this list. Every scope on this list, if you bought it and you were going to hunt from 0 to 200 yards, every one of them will do that. Mm-hmm. Some will be better at 200 than others. Some will be better at 50 yards than others. Some will go on out there to 300 plus yards. Some won't. Some are going to be. But my point is, every scope on this list is good enough that you could shoot something at 200 yards. Identify it safely, accurately, and shoot it. And that's saying a whole lot. I mean, I think I just want you to know where the quality kind of starts and stops on this. All right, here we go. Starting it off. AGM Rattler TS25 384. It is a 1.5 power base magnification optic, and it's had a price reduction this year. It is $1,895. That's $1,895. Moving on, we've got the Sightmark Wraith Thermal. It is a 2-power, and it is $19.99. This optic is brand new to the market this year. This is the first thermal scope that Sightmark has ever had. They're very well known for their digital night vision optics, but they've now got a thermal in the running. AGM Rattler TS35 384. That's a 2.2 power, and it is $2,095. Again, this scope's had a price drop. Last year, the scope was $2,500, dropped $400 in price. That's a big movement when you're talking about this kind of price range. Yeah. Moving on, we've got the Bearing Optics Hogster Vibe 25. That is a 1.4 power base magnification for $2,195. At the same time, we've got its big brother, the Bearing Optics Hogster Vibe 35. That's a 2-power base mag, $2,495. And rounding out my portion of the list, we've got the extremely popular AGM Adder TS35 384 3-power base mag, $2,495. And that is the first scope on this list that is going to be in the 30 millimeter tube daytime scope style. That is the least expensive of that style of scope on this list. Everything else is going to be more of the compact, traditional thermal scope style.
So next we have the Infrared Outdoor Ricoh GL35, which is starts at 3x digital zoom. Price on it's 24.
Not digital zoom, not digital, it's optical. You said three times digital zoom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like,
Sorry.
no, 3 to 12 power digital zoom. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
You said it's got a 3 times digital zoom.
The base
It's a
magnification is
3
3x. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
sorry.
like, man, you had me so confused.
I was
if you see the look on my face, I'm like, what
It's
the
my
heck is
notes. So
Yeah.
I made these notes. So that's got him all messed up.
You didn't mess that up. Anyway, so $24.99. So as y'all remember, this scope started out at $29.95, and it was since lowered $500 or $24.99. Very, very popular scope in this price range. We got the Pulsar Talion XQ35 Pro, which starts at 2.5 power base magnification, goes up to 10 power. Price on that is $24.99. Then we have the infrared. We got another one, Infrared Outdoor Bolt TL35 version 2, 3x 3x to 12x. I'm trying not to say digital, so I'm just so used to saying 3 to 12 power digital zoom.
Yeah, you keep giving the digital zoom like I didn't give that. You're giving more information than I did.
You know, having phone calls all day, every day, and I'm just so used to saying. Starts at 3 power. Base magnification, the price on that's $26.99. This is the one, y'all, that was lowered in price. Started out at $32.99, and the price has been $26.99 for quite a while now, and it is permanently at that spot. You have the AGM Rattler TS35-640. Starts at 2 power base magnification. Price on that's $2,995. That's our first and only 640 resolution optic on the list. And then we have the AGM Adder, the big brother of the 35. This is the AGM Adder TS50-384. This is a 4 power base magnification, which the difference between this and the other one was the other's a 3 power base. This is a 4 power, $2,995 on the price on that. And then rounding out the list, the Pulsar Thermion 2 XQ35 Pro, 2.5 power base magnification. The price $2,999. The price was $32.99 forever. Jason, the price was even the previous models. You know, the Thermion XQ38s. I mean, going back a long way, but they
all the way to all the way.
So they lowered these to $29.99. So that rounds out the list, Jason.
No, it does not round out the list because you left off the AGM Varmint TS35 384.
All over the place.
3 power base magnification, $2,995. Now, what's something unique about this scope is that it is the only optic in this list that has a built-in laser rangefinder. So, you know, the Bolt TL35 V2, you have an optional laser rangefinder now. It's just coming available. You can add on for $800. You know, a separate add-on. But this unit, the Varmint TS35 384, it is a built-in laser rangefinder. Phenomenal deal for $29.95, and I don't know why you hate that scope so bad that you left it off the list.
I do. You know, I was just looking at this list. There's 6 different AGM scopes.
That's right.
In this category, you're right.
6 of the 13.
Yeah, 6 of the 13.
And thank you, AGM.
And the Varmint being the only one with the built-in permanently integrated laser rangefinder with the mount with the 5-year warranty. So okay, now that rounds off the list. Thank you, Jason, for saving that one. No disrespect to the Varmint at all.
No.
So
you just skipped it.
Exactly. So what I would say, I'm going to go, Jason. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick and plead my case for
Can I get the drum roll?
Well, that's just something I'm going to have to artificially put in, but maybe we'll do some hand clapping and some drum rolls. But I would say, okay, my pick for my favorite scope, best scope under $3,000 in the entry level category, is going to be the Infrared Outdoor Bolt TL35, and I'm going to tell you why. Again, it's not just because the lowering of the price, and again, that's not a reflection of the quality of the product. At $32.99, it was fairly priced for an optic with rechargeable batteries with a 5-year warranty. It does include a mount. Doesn't include a quick release mount, but it does include a mount. Good battery life, great picture image. In the $4,000 under category, it was amongst the best and popular. I would say one of the popular in that category. I mean, I think you could arguably say and have a discussion that it was on par with the leaders in that category. And it was a tough competition, even in that under $4,000 price range. Now, not they could have just said, okay, it's $32.99. We're gonna sneak it in under $3,000 and put it at $29.99. Lower it $300 and probably still sold a lot. They lowered the price, by a substantial amount. What is that? Your quick math. I mean, $600.
Yeah. 10% of it would have been 330. So nearly 20%.
Yeah, 20% decrease in price. So they lowered it to $26.99, which is an unbelievable price, which puts it right there close to the Pulsar Talion, puts it in the striking distance between the AGM Adder TS35. But let me tell you about the Bolt TL35 version 2. It is capable to accept the brand new Bluetooth laser rangefinder from Infrared Outdoor that isn't fully on the market at this point, and we'll be discussing that later on.
It may be by the time this airs, maybe.
Yeah,
it's really close. It's out there.
But it is capable to accept that. It does. Obviously, it's got the Infrared Outdoor IRA USA 5-year warranty with a 5 business day repair or replace guarantee. The picture image on it is phenomenal. Great picture image. It's great. The 3-power base magnification in 3 to 12 power. Magnification is great for coyote hunters. It's good for a lot of hog hunters. It's not great if you're in the woods and all you do is hunt log sets. 3 power is going to be a little bit too much magnification, but 3 power is an acceptable starting point for a lot of different applications. So it's something that you could take out, put on a rifle and go out and hunt pretty much anywhere in the United States and be able to be successful. The fact that it's a tube style scope allows it to be mounted on a lot of different types of platforms, whether it's a bolt action, whether it's an AR style rifle, a chassis rifle. That's just the popularity of that. I know there's people out there that don't like the full size tube style scope look or the feel of it, but man, every manufacturer has just about every manufacturer has a tube style scope, and it is their most popular item pretty much in every category of their sales. So these things are here to stay. We are believers in them. We had to come around there for a while, but we do love the full size tube style scopes because of the mounting flexibility and what the format that you can put it on or platforms you can put it on. So I don't think I'm missing anything. I think this just I would say has in my opinion, probably ups there, the best picture image under $3,000. Arguably, I think you can make a case for another scope in here, but I do believe that this is a scope that
in the 384 is what you're saying, the 384 resolution, yeah.
And so I think that the reason why I gave it that was not just because of picture quality, but everything else, all the features included with the good battery life and all that. So anyway, that is my award. That's my favorite. Best under, and I dare you to prove me wrong, Jason. Dare you.
Well, so this is all right. I'm going to pick a different scope. All right, so we're not going to pick the same one here.
Did we tell people we're going to do honorable mentions too? I don't remember if we did.
I think I mentioned earlier. We're going to do some honorable mentions. And I almost want to do my honorable mention first. You know what? I think I'm going to. This is my show. I'm going to do it. Can I do that?
My nose. Hey,
can I do the honorable first? Shouldn't that the way it should be?
This is your show. You do whatever you want.
It's our show.
It's
the
our
executive
show.
producer.
Our show. You do whatever you want.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my honorable first, and I think in the future we should, because that's a build up. You get to see who gets second place first.
Yeah, you're
All
right.
My honorable mention, and the reason I want to do it first is because I think there's going to be a lot of questions of why one of us didn't pick it for first. My honorable mention is the AGM Rattler TS35 640. I mean, this thing sticks out like a sore thumb in this category because it's a 640 optic. And why would we both not pick this and be done? Already have ended the show. It's a really good scope. Mm-hmm. It's a really good value. Comes with an American Defense mount on the bottom of it, 5-year warranty, full mobility. I mean, it's a great scope. But it's not my favorite scope in this list. Even though you go, well, wait a minute, Jason, are you admitting you're going to go down in image quality to get a different scope, and that's going to be your favorite scope. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you all flat out. I talked to you on the phone about this, and I'll tell you that if our only decision, your only decision, my only decision when picking a scope was image quality, then we could just swipe off, 90% of the optics in every category. We would say, this has the best image quality. Okay, there's an argument between these two. All right, well, these are the only two. Every other manufacturer, close up shop. Y'all don't, until you can beat that image quality. But that's not true. It's no different than when you're looking for a car or a truck. You don't go out and say, well, I'm going to buy the one that has the best gas mileage no matter what. I don't care what it looks like. We have to, well, I want, this pulling capacity. I want 4 doors. I want all these things. So that's the same thing here with this Rattler. Great scope. I love it. I'm excited to have the 640. I would absolutely recommend this scope to a lot of my buddies. But I think for me, there's 2 things that I really do like. I like what Hans just went into, the tube base scope, the 30 millimeter tube. I can mount that on a host of rifles, and I've just gotten so used to the versatility of that. I love that style of scope. My kids, when they pick that scope up, any type of scope with a 30 millimeter tube, they just feel at home with it. It feels like the daytime scope that they're hunting with, shooting deer. They like it. They're comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with it. So I think that's probably going to lead you to go, he's going to pick a tube style scope.
Yeah.
So that, and I would say that for me, one thing that's a little knock that I'm going to give against the TS35 is that it uses CR123A batteries. And that's not weird if you look at, let's see. I listed the bottom 6 scopes on this list, and 5 of those use CR123A batteries. That used to be what every scope in this category used. Yeah. But again, I buy those things, by the hundreds. I've got piles of them because we do use and test these scopes. But it's just not my favorite. So that's why. I mean, I like the scope. It's a good scope. I could recommend it to somebody. But that's why it deserves an honorable mention. This was a tough one for me because I want to pick it. But you ask me, this show is what is my favorite. That's maybe my second favorite.
Yeah, if somebody's looking for a compact scope that they can take on and off and scan with and throw in a backpack, that's a great option. But you're right; these are our favorites. We're not using this in a dual capacity, and you're exactly right. So
that's my honorable.
Okay.
All right. Now, what's my favorite? My favorite is going to be the Pulsar Thermion 2 XQ35 Pro, and I'm not going to lie to you. I've always been a sucker for this model. As Hans mentioned, this started back in 2017 with the Pulsar Trail XQ38. It was $3,300. And then I'm not going to give you the whole list. It went from the Trail to the Thermion to the Thermion 2 to the Thermion Pro. Now we're to the XQ35. This is that spot. It always held that $3,299 spot till they lowered this price to $3,000. I've always thought that this was a great optic. To be honest, I wouldn't say it entry level. I would say mid-grade. That's what I would call it. Always been a good spot. Now that it's $29.99, I just think that it's even a better value. I really, really, really like the Thermions a lot. I like the menu system. I think it's very refined. That's one thing that it's hard for me to not pick Pulsars sometime especially when I'm talking to new users and things. I think the menu system is very intuitive. It's very polished. But again, Pulsar's been doing this a long time, building off that menu system. I think there's 2 things that the 2 real reasons. Well, one real reason that I'm going to pick this optic, and it's something that I don't think Pulsar's getting enough credit for, and that's our fault. I don't think we think to talk about it sometimes. Pulsar was known, not known, let me back up. When Bearing Optics came around with their hogsters, they started blowing everybody out of the water by their ability those scopes' ability to function well in high humidity conditions, which is a big deal for southern hunters. It's a big deal when you're in the north and it's wet and it's snowing and it's been raining in the winter or whatever. So high humidity is always been an issue for thermal optics. It's no secret. Bering came in and just started taking over the market because these scopes could function really well in that, and they were blowing the pulsars out of the water. Then Infrared Outdoor came in, and AGM, and all of these were functioning better and better and better. Pulsar has stepped their game up. And I'm going to tell you, this is my opinion. Hans, you can correct me if I'm wrong. In this list, I would say that this scope and the Talion, I think are going to perform better in high humidity and poor conditions than probably any optic on this list. And that is a change from, I will admit, at one point, Pulsar was probably in last place in that ability. And I think they've gone to first place. And being here in East Texas in the South, we live in a rainforest here, and it's humid. It stays humid even in the winter, because our winters are like, a lot of people's summers. It goes from it's 80 to 60, and then we get lucky and it gets into the 30s or 40s every once in a while. But it'll be, a lot of times it'll be overcast. It'll be high humidity. So even the last couple of weeks here of fall, it's been pretty nasty conditions, and the Pulsars, I think, have done really, really good. So I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. That is my honorable mention, the Pulsar Thermion 2 XQ35. That's my pick. Hans, are you going to pick one of my two picks for your honorable mention? Because I did, listen, I got two pretty good scopes here. You going to pick one of mine for your honorable mention?
I'm not. I'm going to have to go a different direction with you because
I don't even see. But I'm right, so I don't know why you would want to be wrong.
You're right. You're right. I'll say that.
Okay, I like that.
But I'm more right.
Okay.
I'm more right with my.
I don't like that part.
Honorable mention. If you want to look at this as a popularity contest, my honorable mention would probably, I would say, I don't know. You probably know more than anybody, but as far as the sales figures, and if you want to rate it based on sales, that is popularity, but. My choice for honorable mention is the AGM Adder TS35 384. And man, this scope came out in, what was it, towards the end of 20...
It came out sometime in 22. I can't remember exactly when. 22.
We have sold a mountain of these, y'all.
Mountain.
They are probably one of the top selling scopes in this price range. I don't have that number specifically, but what I would say is when it came into the market for being $24.95, and it stayed that. That's never been a price change. It's always been $24.95, right?
I think so, man. I'm getting old and the price is changing. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's always been about $2,500.
$2,500. Well, you think about it. Back when it first came on the market, you had the Rattlers, which were great scopes. You have the Bering Optics Hogster in that price range. And then you have the Adder. Well, what's the big difference? The Adder really was one of the first scopes in that price, that $2,500 price, that you got rechargeable batteries, that you got a tube style scope, that you got something with, I don't want to say good picture image, but it does have a little bit better picture image than the other competition in that under $2,500 price range.
If I'm not mistaken, that scope was the first 30 millimeter tube and the first 3-power under $3,000. Am I wrong there? I think that's right.
I think it was the first 3-power. Yeah. I think it was the first 3-power scope.
Yep.
In that price range, which, I mean, goodness, that's I guess it was because you had the Thermion XM30 that came after that. I would say after the Adder. I don't know. There's a lot of
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, we might be messing up our timeline a little bit. But this is a very popular scope. Has been since day one. People love them. Have a very you hardly hear about somebody calling up and saying, "Man, I've got a problem with an Adder." They're just built rock solid, and they perform well, and people love them, and we love them. So I'm choosing that as my honorable mention, Jason. I would say we've got a good list. I'm going to round it out again. My pick for my favorite scope was the iRay Bolt TL35 version 2. Yours was the Pulsar Thermion 2 XQ35 Pro. Your honorable mention was the Rattler TS35 640, and I can already see the comment section now. How did you not choose the 640 scope as your favorite, but I think you laid out a good case. And then my honorable mention, the AGM Adder TS35 384. Those are your winners and honorable mentions. So,
I want to say,
well, I was going to say,
I'm sorry.
to the manufacturers of these, you got your gift certificate to Cheddar's, restaurant on the way. $25 gift certificate. We're not doing trophies. We've got a tighter budget this year. We've got more employees, and you're just getting a gift certificate. $25.
Yeah, 50% off of one appetizer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I
no
would
alcohol
say this, guys.
drinks. You can't use alcohol drinks for the gift card. So,
here's what I would say to y'all. If you're a frequent viewer of this show, you know us, and we try to be fair. We try to be, give everybody a fair shake on all these scopes. And if there's a scope that we don't like, we don't review it. All right. That's just the way it is. And that's the beauty of what we do. We get to cherry pick every manufacturer's line. There are optics from every single manufacturer that we do not carry. Doesn't mean we think they're trash, but maybe just don't think they're good value. Maybe there's something specific about it that we don't like. That's just, again, we like that, but it gives us freedom to choose and sell what we want and what we believe in. Every optic on this list, I believe in. I can sell every one of these, any one of these to you. I don't like having to choose a favorite and do it, because you could catch me on a different day and I might choose a different scope than I chose. I might pick one of Hans. It's really, they're all good optics. And this is not like, everybody gets a ribbon. Well, they do get a ribbon, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be on this list. That's it. We get to make the list. And so this is not, and by the way, guys, don't anybody get their feelings hurt and, you sold me the scope and you didn't choose it. No, everybody has favorite. I was the favorite child when I was growing up, and I can't help it. I'm teasing. It's just the way that it is.
But things have changed too, because when you bought your Rattler scope, or when you bought your Adder scope, which was the best choice for you at the time based on what you're doing, what we went through. But also there's been some scopes that have moved down in other price ranges down to this one. So that's going to affect things and shake things up a little bit. But if you got a scope and you made the choice based on what you wanted to do with it, then be happy, go out and hunt, have a good time, and that's all you got to worry about. If I didn't
like some of these scopes, we'd take them off the list. We'd take them off the website. We quit selling them, and we just sell more of the others. Right. So that's just the way that is. But guys, listen, hope you enjoyed this. We got a bunch more of these. If you didn't enjoy this, you're not going to enjoy anything we do for about the next 6 weeks. If you liked it, you got a lot of good stuff coming. We've started here. We're going to have everything. We're going to go all the way up to the super high-end expensive stuff. And we're also even going to have digital night vision optics. These optics are going to be $500 to $1,300. So we got something for everybody. We'll do handheld, thermal monoculars, everything. Stay tuned. Good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Every week, all the way through the end of the year, we're going to be doing our best of series. Yep. And so stick to the show for that. Guys, we can't say it enough. If you need help, if you're looking to purchase, we would love to have your business. We would. This is what Hans and I do for a living. The ladies in the office, Ashley, this is our living, is using these scopes, testing them, and being able to advise you on what is best, because we understand you don't get the opportunity to take all 13 of these scopes, go out to your hunting spot and use them all in good conditions, in bad conditions, in everyday conditions, in all the, tall grass, short grass. You don't get to do that, but we do. And so we want to be able to help you choose the exact right optic on this list that is for you. And then hopefully, help you with that sale and offer you that customer service before, after, and during the sale. So outdoorlegacygear.com. Phone number is 877-350-1037. 1818. You've already found the Late Night Vision Show. Click that subscribe button so that you don't miss any more of these best of shows. If you're looking for some reviews of these specific scopes, or maybe one of these caught your eye on here or something else, we got a bunch of them here on this podcast on YouTube. You can go over to Hans's channel, Hansetx, Hansies, Texas. He's got reviews of a lot of those as well. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook as well. Outdoor Legacy. We're on all the social medias. You can find us there as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. We have a lot of fun with it. And, we can't wait to do all the rest of these episodes.
So y'all get ready. Make sure you get those Cheddar's gift certificates. Use them wisely. Send us pictures, company photos of y'all getting to eat an appetizer or two on the Late Night Vision Show. All right. So on behalf of me and Jason, thank y'all. We will see y'all soon. Next week, we've got another episode of the Late Night Vision Show and another pick for our favorite scopes. The Best Of series continues on until the end of the year. We'll see y'all soon. Stay safe in the fields. Keep making them bacon pancakes.